Each afternoon, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and the technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. So today we're going to talk about the 10-year yield, the SPX, and we're also going to go over USO. So I bring up the 10-year yield because it is currently putting a lot of pressure on the markets. When the 10-year yield starts to rise, the S&P 500 and the stock market continues to drop. And that's what's continuing to happen over the last few days. So there's a lot of correlation between the two. And so as soon as that, or as long as that continues, I will be covering that. As soon as we can get some separation between the two, then I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the 10-year yield out of the picture. Let's jump into the 10-year yield now. So here's this upsloping trend line. Pivot low here, secondary hit, third hit, fourth hit. I do have logarithmic charts on, so let me remove those to show you where this low hit happened. Price consolidation right in this area. We finally got a little bit of a push above this gap in the charts at 4.556. Now it's looking to push up a little bit higher. Now, when you did see the markets float, we had this nice sell-off, but now all of a sudden we got to this pivot low right here at 4.529, and now we're pushing higher. So the more often resistance is hit, the weaker it gets, and it's consolidating right on top of this resistance. And so what we're looking at is a potential push to the upside. As long as this upsloping trend line is intact, it does favor a continued push higher. So my next level of resistance is going to be 4.688. Now we will have a stopping point right here about 4.657. However, once we get here, we should see a nice sell-off in the US 10-year, and the S&P 500 should get a pretty sizable bounce. Now, SPX, upsloping trend line. We covered this. Here's this upsloping trend line that we're monitoring. We finally broke below. You notice we haven't made a real continuation move lower because the 10-year yield isn't really spiking yet. So here's how you would play something like this. You're going to wait for either A, price to consolidate over the next few days, because right now we're putting in this nice bear flag. However, still immature. So we need it to play out a little bit more, and then we can see further downside. Or if you're a little bit more conservative, don't want to wait for it, or aggressive, depending on how you look at it, you could wait for a retrace to this gap in the chart sitting at 75.84. And that is not only a retrace of this upsloping trend line, but it would be a gap in the charts. And this is going to be a great rejection level. The nice thing about something like this is if it does get above 76.23, then you can always stop out of the trade. So if you want to play this, wait a couple more days. So you need about 6 days inside of a nice red bar candle to create a nice bear flag, or you wait for a retrace up here, depending on which happens first. The USO chart, not a lot going on today. What I would be looking at, still love this 140.92 level, but it does look like there's a little bit more bearishness in the USO chart. So I'd be looking at 124.11 for a day trade today on the chart of US oil. But you notice how all this price consolidation happens right underneath it, but now we're staying a little bit weaker, chopping on top of support. It's like the inverse of what's going on with the 10-year yield. So I do anticipate additional downside, which is why 124.11 would be my day trade level and not my swing trade level. SOXX did have this nice prior red bar candle opening, as well as pivot low. I was mentioning yesterday this would have been my shortable level at $584.38. I thought it was going to get there yesterday, but that's not what happened. It got up to that level today, actually got to this opening candle of this green bar candle, and then we had a pretty solid sell-off. Now we are getting a small bounce in the SOXX, and it is still currently in an uptrend. So what I'm looking at, pivot low here, secondary hit, kiss here. So this is technically considered the third hit right into this, right above this gap in the charts. So if we can drop a little bit more, maybe down to about $550 Pierce, this is my aggressive long level today. And it would be another hit of this trend line that's held price action higher over the last over a year, or basically for the beginning of the year of April 2026. If we start pushing above this, then we would look for a resistance level sitting at $602.72. ARM has a nice drawdown today. Prior gap in the charts, $321.22. It actually never hit that. However, if it does drop into that level, this is an aggressive level for those of you who are interested in day trading ARM. For me, $302.71 is where I would love to play ARM for a long trade today. And this would be just for a day trade. I know I've got a ton of different lines on the charts. You got to always identify where the next level of resistance is. So if we do start pushing back up, if we get to $353.29, that is an area that I'm looking at for a potential short opportunity today. All right. SanDisk had this nice surge to the upside, got a little bit of a fall, and now we're starting to move back higher. So we did get to this high pivot point in the market hours, $1,803. Now that level has already played out, today, if we can get up to 1832, this is my shortable level, knowing that I could dollar cost average all the way up to about 1863. It's only about a $30 move. So 1831 all the way up to 1861. That's a $30 move. So if I dollar cost average every $15 higher, we do get a pullback, you could remove some of that trade. If it does start closing above 1861 on a daily closing basis, and again, this is for a day trade, but on a swing trade basis, you could also start right here. And let me show you why you could start a swing trade off this level. Got this pivot top here, take it all the way down to the lows. And so right here around 1821 is an 886 Fibonacci retracement, as well as a previous gap in the charts. So this is a great swing trade level, knowing that if it closes above 1861 on a daily closing basis, you could just look to stop out of the trade. Zooming out in the charts, take off logarithmic chart. Here is this upsloping trend line we're monitoring. Pivot low here, secondary hit. Look at how price consolidated right on this trend line. Even tried to break below it on the 5th of June and then got a nice draw or bid to the upside. So the more often a support level hits, the weaker the support level gets, but we still have to wait for a breakdown. If it breaks below this upsloping trend line, sometimes you won't get a retrace, but then we could signal or indicate that the bears are more in control and the buyers can step out of the way. My long level today would be 1642 for a day trade for SanDisk. Those of you who are a little bit more aggressive, you could start a swing trade in the next few days if it hits that gap in the charts and hits this upsloping trend line. COHR had this nice drawdown today. It already filled this gap and had a nice bounce. It already bounced 2%. So those of you who are aggressive, $362.84 is still a great long level for COHR. For me, I'm looking at this low pivot as well as this previous gap in the charts at $358.02. I would wait for that level because if this is going down, a lot of the rest of the market is. And so I would have to wait for the SPY to get into some support before I do enter a long play. But more conservative traders, wait for that 358.02 level. NVDA, I mentioned yesterday, 205.10, already gotten a bounce off that level. Gap in the charts, decent bounce. Similar to what's going on with the SOXX. Price not the SOXX, the SPY. Price is consolidating right inside this red bar candle. So again, you're going to have to wait another 3 to 4 days for price to consolidate. If it does start doing that, whether they're green bar candles or red bar candles, for me, it doesn't really matter. It's still a bear flag. And so then what we could do is we could see where the measured move on the bear flag would play out. So from the highs, take it down to the pivot low. Now, wherever the high is, if this is the highest it gets, then you could take it from this high, take the measured move down to about $186. I still think you're going to have a ton of support if we can drop down to 195.56. So those of you who are a little bit more aggressive, look for a small bounce off of this level. And then you could look to potentially average in or re-enter it at $186.17. Oracle's having a nice drawdown today as well. So here's a pivot low, secondary pivot. Here's would be the third hit of this upsloping trend line, $203.70. And it's also a gap in the charts. So if we can drop into this level, not only would I play this for a day trade, but this is also setting up for a great swing trade level. Once we do close below this upsloping trend line on a daily closing basis, though, watch out below. You are going to have some support here, but I see Oracle, got to zoom way out in the charts. I would say this high pivot high point right here at about $170 would be the first aggressive level that I would look to enter Oracle. Now, on a technical basis, you do have a pivot low here, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are still technically in an uptrend, which is why if you're aggressive, $203.70 is your entry price, knowing that you have a clear stop out level for ORCL. OKLO into that long level. Nice gap in the charts on OKLO. $55.81 was that aggressive level yesterday. Because we're having a market sell-off, this isn't as good of a level, even though we're getting a small bounce. So for me, I would wait for this low pivot point in the charts sitting right here. Oh, let me go ahead and try that again. At $53.96. For me, that is the level that I would love to go long on OKLO if it can get down in that level. For my swing trade level, though, I have to wait until it drops significantly lower, which is right here at $50.18. And the reason I like this level is because this would be the first level of support all the way down to this secondary level of support at this gap in the charts at 46.58. And then I have this long-term low pivot at $43.63. Eventually, you are going to get a bounce once this thing becomes way oversold. But identifying the exact bottom can be a little bit tricky. And so this is why I wouldn't pick this up until $50.18. Last but not least, MU did have an upgrade today. Price action got upgraded. I think it was JP Morgan upgraded to $900. And then it jumped up, filled this gap, $996, and now we're getting pullback. Similar to what's going on with SanDisk, Upsloping Trendline, and ORCL. Pivot low here, kissed it here, secondary hit. This level at $895.88 is a dual factor zone. Prior gap in the charts where you can see some support. Then we had a market sell-off, but now we're above that again, which tells me that there are still people who are interested in this gap in the charts. So which is why $895.88 is your long level today, not only for a day trade, for a potential swing trade. Just knowing that once it closes below this upsloping trend line on a daily closing basis, you could actually stop out. For me, on a swing trade basis on the upside, if we do get back up to this 1,077 level, that's my swing trade short level. If we can muster up enough buying pressure to get back up there. On a day trade basis, if we can get back up to $996, I would also day trade MU for a short. So that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully some of these continue to sell off, get into some key technical levels, so that way we take advantage of some day trades. And if Oracle drops into place, then we could have some swing trade levels as well. So that's what I have for you guys. If you guys are getting something out of this, please make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, sharing with those friends, so that way not only does it boost our algorithm, but it also gives your friends an opportunity to see charts possibly the way you do. And it's always fun to talk about charts, or at least I think so. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.